Hello, this is Savasia and I present to you Riven. Camtasia is recording this. I do not get odd things, artifacts. But I am... Where am I? Here. Okay, I think... if my map is correct, then I have to turn this around. Go straight ahead, more or less. And then right. The thing is, we have various points that we need to find. Actually, I think I need to go left first if my notes are correct. Let me try left, because right seems wrong. Oh, and I think I can read out the book. I'll do that later. But because I have found something that should fix the problem. That is a problem with the GOG version of it. That shouldn't be present with the with a small software that seems to fix the problem. What we see here is a little ball in the water here. But that shouldn't disturb us very much. It's one of those little balls that... But this one we can't reach. What? No, okay, this isn't the place. Huh. Damn it. I should have listened to myself and gone right. Okay. Sometimes intuition is a good thing. Okay. Go down. Alright, here is where I am. I need to turn this around now and then go left or so. I just went left. I should go right. Oh my god, I'm confused. What I need to find is a place where there are several levers that I can, you know, flip, and then I should be able to access everywhere. I hope. Hello? Thanks. That looks like it could be a place. Yes, and that's the place where I wanted to go, actually. Yes, this is this. And now if we flip these levers up, then we get... yes, here we see we have an overview of this entire place. And now we can reach all these little holes. What we need to do next is we need to get here. I think... Or here? No, this is this here. This is this here, yes. Anyway, I think where I need to go... is I need to turn this around. Go down and then left or so. Unless I'm very much mistaken. Which is entirely possible too. I mean, it sounds reasonable because I think I came from the right side. Yeah, I came from the right side and my map isn't incorrect, I'm just stupid. Right, left. Left should lead us to a place. Okay. Up we go. This leaves us here, and this is one of the most brilliant things in the entire Myst series, Well, what we have here is this thing. That's not so brilliant, that's just a guy. Something we had in Myst II, guy in a kind of hologram.
Terekoi Danni, Kibayem Revat, Alroyem Beetig Tavom, Gabodona Gayem.
Speaking gibberish. Whatever he's saying, I don't know. I don't want to know. Hello? Yes. Anyway, this is a place, there is a kind of blackboard, there are we will find out our letters. There is a fruit thing, there is something brilliant. Yes, there's another blackboard, I have no idea what it says there. If any one of you knows, let me know, but I never really tried to find out, even with the transcription that you can do from Revelation, because no, it's probably not even English. Now here we see this, and when we click this thing, we get one of these funny little symbols. The fallen over Roman numeral 5, and when we... Roman numeral 1, sorry, you will know why I said 5, because this thing moved 5 steps down. We flip this again. And this moved 6 steps down. This moved 10 steps down, and you are getting the drill, aren't you? Because, and that cost me a lifetime. That was 2. And now here we have something interesting. 2 and 10 looks very much alike, only it was turned by 90 degrees to the left. And that's just how these numbers work. You have the basic numerals. You have 4 basic numerals. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 looks like a Roman numeral 3. Yes, numeral 3, not 1. These, it's a kind of a square with a single line through it from top to bottom. The 2 is that what looks like a squashed D and an I. And then we have the KI for 3, and we have this little little square and the big square for number 4. And when you turn them, when you write one inside the other, you get an addition, and when you turn them, you multiply them by 5. That sounds more complicated than it is, really. That won't work now because... yeah, because it's game over. But the thing is, this is how these numerals work, and what you've got to work out is the numerals until and including 25 for this game. Now this thing here reaches only to number 10. I'll keep demonstrating until we've seen all the 10 numerals, I think. This is like this is 6. We had this before, and now I can demonstrate why it is 6. We have number 1, this is this 3 vertical lines, and the one horizontal line is the numeral 5, the toppled over numeral 3, Roman numeral 3. And if you put one and the other inside the same box, you get an addition, that is 1 plus 5. This is 9. Why is it 9? It's 9 because we have the fallen over numeral 3, that's the number 5, that's 5, and we have the square inside the square, that's the 9, this one. By the way, any code that I keep, 1. Any code that I keep with me, and I do sometimes keep codes with me, for example for my credit card, I don't know the code by heart, and I have it on a little piece of paper in a different place than my credit card, for obvious reasons, and in these numerals, because I don't think there are too many people who can decipher these numerals. Again a 6. And I'm going to I just want to show you the 3 and 4, but the game doesn't seem to be overly kind here. That's a 7. Yes, well, you get the drill. Here, the number 7, the number 7 is a 5 and a 2. That's the squash D, what I meant a squash D. Please a number 8 or so. That would be great. 3 or 8. I just wanna... Hey, come on. You gotta be kidding me. I just want to show the last one. I want the number 3, please. Or 8. Take either. Right. Can I? No, I can't. Sometimes you can interrupt sequences in this game by hitting space, by the way, but didn't want to. That's an 8. Brilliant. We've seen everything we need to see, so we have the number 5, that's this one, and here this K, letter K thing is the number 3, and together they make 8. And that's basically how this works. And now that we are here in the school, I am going to demonstrate. Yes, I can change back. Only one page. You can skip this bit. I am going to read out what this book says, but you can, hey, you can skip that. They held for more than 30 years, but the corrections I made to Riven have finally failed. The island has resumed the familiar pattern of decay that is the hallmark of my father's work. I must now race to implement this new patch before it is too late. I only hope that my revised theories are sound. 87.6.16. Revisions to Riven complete. There are still a number of minor adjustments which need to be made, but the basic corrections have been entered and should be working. Something's not right. I've been monitoring the instruments for several hours now, but have thus far observed no change. It's possible that I've made an error, though I've checked my entry against my prenotation and can find no discrepancy. I've not had a rest in nearly 3 days, so it may be that I'm just not seeing it. If the fault is with my foundational assumptions, however, perhaps after a short rest I will see something. What? Sorry. There. 87.6.18. Success. It appears that my repairs have been effective after all. The gateway image has become noticeably clearer, and although it is impossible to know this with absolute certainty, the island seems to have quieted itself. Just a few more weeks of work and I should be free, at least to go there myself and attempt to bring Catherine back. The past 8 months have left me little time to devise a strategy for getting her out of there. I've received no sign from her in all that time. I'm afraid that... no, I must assume that she's alright, lest my fears undermine my efforts to bring her back. 87.6.19. I did not create the Age of Riven. Unlike my father, I have never presumed to have such power, and yet the future of all those who live there has fallen into my hands. So far I've managed to read the page before it turns. The island continues to appear stable, and I would like to believe that I have saved the dying world, but the theories of one individual cannot support the lives of real people indefinitely. I must get everyone off of Riven as soon as possible. The problem now is Ken. I'll never be able to rescue Catherine and relocate the island as if he's still the man he once was. I haven't seen him in over 30 years, but his history forces me to assume that he is still a threat. His myopic mission to restore the Dani civilization has left too many innocent cultures dying in his wake, and will continue to do so were he to once again be free of the confines of Riven, or the Fifth Age as he coldly titled it. The universe has been safe from his corruptive influence for the last 33 years, because no one has been able to leave that age, the last linking book out of Riven having been lost in the starfish ere upon my return to Myst. That was my intention, to maroon my father on Riven by removing all the existing links to other worlds. And since the art of constructing books had long been lost with the fall of the Dani, he would be trapped there for the remainder of his lifetime and effectively segregated from the countless other worlds that he would have invaded. In effect, that is what we achieved, but the way it fell, however, was no one's ideal. Though the sting of the incident has gradually faded from my memory, the deep pain of the responsibility for what actually came to be has never left me. At the time it all seemed so clear. Gain's destructive path could not be allowed to continue. But it was never my choice that the innocent inhabitants of Riven, who had already suffered so much, would be the ones to pay for it. Enough. To dwell in the past is to die in the present. The situation is not the same as it was then. The knowledge I acquired in the years since that time is yet to be applied to this problem. 87-620. I think I have the solution. Why did it not occur to me sooner? I do not know, unless the idea of it had been pushed out with the thought of my sons. A prison book. Many years ago, during a hunting expedition through the ruins of Dani, I chanced upon a formula for a most unusual type of book. Unfortunately, due to the fact that my father was then in the habit of confiscating my discoveries, I was forced to leave it behind. Years later, however, as part of my efforts to protect the vulnerable worlds linked to the books in my library, I was pleased to find that I could still recall most of the formula, and with little experimentation quickly succeeded in creating one of these devices myself. The procedure is actually quite simple. By altering key lines of text but slightly, a normal linking book connection can be partially severed, such that anyone who attempts to use the book will be permanently trapped in the dark void of the link. That is, unless someone else then uses the book, at which point that person would become trapped and the first person displaced back into the world. The technique can be applied to books that have already been written, changes to the original text being so slight that anyone who is unfamiliar with the code would be unable to detect them. If indeed my father has not changed, what better bait could there be than a book that appeared to be a link back here to Dani? 87-72. Trouble. My nightly analysis of the island's condition has revealed that the tremors have begun again. The pattern, however, is new. The disturbances are the result of the changes I have made. This did not at first concern me, however. Tremors of this type were one of the possible side effects that I had anticipated during the initial phase of the island's readjustment. Still, in order to verify my assumptions, I decided to calculate again, incorporating the new data. The results were not what I expected. The damage to the understructure is more extensive than I'd realized. I can no longer go to Riven as planned. Catherine, forgive me. 87-73. I must act while I still have the time. The signs are barely visible, but there is no question that the island's deterioration is accelerating. Total collapse is imminent unless I can keep ahead, and that is becoming increasingly difficult to do. 87-75. With every passing moment I gain a clearer picture of the incredible chaos that my father's economy of words has yielded. But it is a dismaying process. The complexity of the problem is overwhelming. There is no end to this. The last 2 days have all but convinced me that the collapse of Riven is inevitable, and that at best I can only strive to delay it now and hope that at some point the island will become stable enough to risk a rescue attempt. 87-77. I think I've come up with a way to subdue the tremors. It will require my exclusive attention for at least a month or two, so it may be necessary to discontinue these journal entries for a while. 87-713. Something truly miraculous has happened. Beyond all conceivable probability, someone has finally found my lost Myst linking book and has freed me from this prison. I immediately realized that this could be the solution to my dilemma, and I believe my mysterious benefactor is willing to assist me. I'm still not sure it can work. The logistics of such a scheme are formidable, but the mere fact that it may now be possible for me to continue my repairs to Riven and yet proceed with my original intent to find Catherine has given me renewed hope. 87-716. The last few days have left me little time to work out the remaining problems with sending someone else to Riven. It did occur to me, however, that if a way could be found to signal me once Gen had been captured, it would no longer be necessary to take a real linking book to Riven and risk the possibility of inadvertently realizing Gen. The deteriorated state of the gateway image makes the use of a visual signal impossible, but the picture remains a reliable indicator of Riven's condition nonetheless. By measuring and interpreting variations in the noise patterns, I'm still able to observe basic changes that occur in the age, even though I cannot see them. The problem is that my instruments can only detect changes that occur on a fundamental level, and it seems unlikely that an individual could effect such an elementary change from within an age. The idea may be foolish. Still, there is a known weakness that may be worth investigating, an anomaly that appears as a rift between two separate systems. The star fissure. But how, or even if this fact could be exploited, I cannot say. Sending someone to Riven also means that once I received the signal that they were ready to return, I would have to leave my writing in order to take a real linking book there myself. However, provided my father was safely out of the way, this should take very little time. After that, assuming the island does not incur much damage in my absence, it should then be a relatively simple matter to hold it together long enough for Catherine to return to Riven and evacuate the remaining islanders. Predetermining a signal without knowing the topography of the island may prove to be impossible, but I'm afraid there can be only one answer to the question of whether or not I should send my friend to Riven with a way out. The potential for failure will be greatly diminished if the prison book is all that is taken there. I'm sure my father is expecting me to bring a linking book to Riven. May he not be disappointed. And this, my friends, is Gen's library, and I'm pretty sure that this was not half an hour, and yet I will quit now because because I have no idea how long this was, and I need to check if this recording worked more or less well. So in that vein, this was Salvatia. And wait, no, not yet. I think I'm going back to wherever. And if my map again is correct, I need to turn this around. No, that didn't do anything. I need to turn this around and go off. Then I wanted to go left, I think. I am here in that thing, yes, that would leave me in the place where there is nothing there really. Where we just looked before. That should bring us to another place where we can just go ahead, and no matter where, left or right, there's no difference. Again, we see the ball in the water, but we cannot hear it, of course. But we can assume that this is a ball, and this is therefore a sound of an underwater animal. And then we go right, because to the left there is another place that we don't need yet. So, what do we do now? I think this was pretty much all that we can do on this island for this moment. So what we do is we find the I'll do that yet, you know what? We find the passage again and this little card thingy, and we'll take a ride on the card, and then we will be somewhere else, and that will be a new episode. Yeah, I think that's a good idea. We can just finish this mess here. Going. What? Where was that? I think over there. No. Yes, here. And off we go. I just love these games. We can all wonder how this works with the water, that we have a tunnel through the water where it doesn't touch. Again, I have a story on fanfiction.net where I'm using exactly that kind of background for the story. I don't usually write crossovers, but this time it just fits so well, and I had to have a means to build a city underwater. And then suddenly I remembered Riven, and I thought, yes, that's the way to do this. And now I've borrowed very heavily from Riven in that text, actually, much more heavily than I had originally intended. So we have arrived here. Now we are falling, and end up here in that thing. And if we take that card now, we would go back, which we don't want to do. This is our new island. This is the place where we will go next. And we will explore next. And yes, this was there something here at the back? I don't think. This was Savasia, and there's a ladder. Okay. That's probably just the way back. Which we don't need. This was Savasia, and the game we having our hands full of is Riven. Goodbye.